Hi guys, Jackie from Manchester. Hello! Welcome to lesson 6 of Thinking About University Key Considerations. This is all about location. Where will you live? Will you stay living at home with your parents? Will you commute? What are the pros and cons of that? Will you stay in halls of residence? Will you share a house? How much do halls of residence cost? And I'm going to look at the link between sort of mental health, well-being and your living situation, how important that is. Where you study and where you live is obviously dependent on your individual sort of circumstances. I'm going to really focus this part sort of on halls of residence, so if this is not relevant for you, you can skip this part of the course. I'm going to talk about funding in detail in a later lesson. I just wanted to mention that where you decide to live, whether it's living at home or living away from home, does affect the amount of maintenance loan you will receive. Living at home has definite advantages. The cost, it's cheaper, you may have to pay a bit of keep, but you may miss out sort of on an experience, or you might be limited to universities around your area as well. It's really common for first years to stay in halls of residence, and universities usually reserve halls of residence for first years. Some have rules about if you live within sort of a certain radius, so do have a look on the university website for details of when you can apply and all their guides and things like that. So what's it like? What's it really like living in halls of residence? Usually they're quite small, compact rooms, a wardrobe, a desk, a bed. Some are en suite. Sometimes you share a kitchen, corridors, a bathroom. And there's different sort of prices, and look out for location as well. Is it close to where you're going to be studying? Now, like with sort of private accommodation, you do enter into a contract when you sign up to live in halls of residence. They're usually sort of term time only. They're very difficult to get out of these contracts. I used to see so many housing problems when I worked in the advice centre. If you leave university, they often allow you to be released from the contract. But if you're living with people you don't like, or you just don't like living in halls, then it is extremely difficult to get out of those contracts. So before you sort of go signing up, ask for a copy of the contract and have a read through and make sure that it is something that you can commit to. Quite often, if you do want to leave halls of residence, you need to find a replacement tenant. They don't just basically release you, it is a contract. The cost of halls of residence, it does vary. There's different sort of levels of it. The accommodation office and hall sort of payments are usually in 3 instalments. It's timed for after you get your student loan, but it is a huge chunk of money. But that's your house, your bills, and it's just something that you really need to think about. A much cheaper option than halls is private renting. And usually in second year, you've sort of established sort of friendships, and I found lots of second years form sort of friendship groups and they rent a shared house, and the cost, it's so much cheaper to do that. So you can rent a room in a house for like £70 to £80, and you sort of share bills, but with that comes sort of implications as well. I've got a video actually on housing tips for shared housing on Scoodle, so check that out. So there are other options than halls. A huge part of this course is to make you more aware. So I just want to mention some sort of key features of halls. Really, they are noisy. You're sort of sharing with strangers. There might be people that you don't like, idiots setting off fire alarms. There's fire drills going off every week. You need to be alert as well in those first couple of weeks. There's lots of new faces. You might not know everyone at first. Don't let people in if you don't know them. There are wardens, a reception staff. They're very strict. There's rules and there's fines, and it's your responsibility. So many times I would see sort of parties in halls and something would get damaged and there'd be like a disciplinary meeting. So just so you're aware, it's not all great. There's things to just be aware of as well. Drugs, alcohol, parties, if you're not into that, it can be difficult. More and more students are experiencing sort of mental health as well, and mental health is very much linked to sort of where you live. And when you start university, you could be classed as sort of vulnerable. It's your first time away from home, no routine, meals. Can you cook? Are you used to doing your own food shopping, cleaning, washing? A lot of students feel sort of isolated as well, and it's completely normal. You're living with strangers, there might be personality clashes, you might not be able to sleep, there might be parties. Just be aware of all that. If you're fine with all that, it's all about sort of living the experience, I guess. Just a few final sort of thoughts if you're thinking about staying in halls, and questions sort of to look at. Is it guaranteed? Are you going to get a place in halls? When do you need to apply? Ring up, ask questions. What's the cost? What's included in that cost? How big is the room? Is it secure? Does it have parking? Is it near to campus? So things like that you need to be aware of, basically, and be mindful of it all. Let's just do a quick recap. So there's different rates of loan if you're living at home or if you're living away from home. But there's different options, and it's all based on your circumstances. Many first years stay in halls. It's safe, it's close to campus, bills included, but what goes with it you need to be aware of as well. Personality clashes, can you cook, finding your independence. But I hope you got something out of that, and I hope it was useful. I hope you'll come and join me in lesson 7. It's about money, funding, student finance England, and the key principles of money management, and the link between sort of finances and well-being as well. We're going to look at that. Okay, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll say goodbye for now. Thank you.